What should you do when you are stopped for a DUI? Most of the people that come to see me have already been stopped for a DUI, but it always comes up. What could I have done to help myself? What can I do to help myself, God forbid, if this happens in the future? First step is the officer's going to pull behind you, and sooner or later they're going to turn on their flashing lights. Pull over the car. Do not try to outrun the police. You'll be in a totally different world of criminal trouble. So pull over the car. When the officer approaches, be very polite. Give them your identification, your registration, your insurance. If the officer is going to ask you if you've been drinking, if they smell the odor of alcohol, you do not have to admit that you've been drinking, and my advice is to deny that you've been drinking at all. Saying to the officer, "I've only had 2 beers," is literally like telling him, "I've had a case of beer." That's what everybody says, and so that's not helping your case. So, do not admit to drinking. If the officer then asks for you to participate in voluntary roadside maneuvers, my advice to you is not to do them. These are not going to help you. They're only a tool that the police use in order to develop probable cause to have you take a blood or a breath test. So politely refuse the roadside maneuvers. You're not going to get in trouble for doing that. If the officer at that time still feels, despite your denying drinking and refusal to participate in the roadside maneuvers, that they have probable cause to have you take a blood or a breath test, my advice is to take a blood test. There's 2 reasons for that. The first is that it delays the process. The blood has to be sent to the Department of Health, has to be tested, sent back to the officer, so it buys you time with regards to your license, which is important to everybody. The second reason is when you take a blood test, there's a second sample that we get, that we have retested, so that we know what your blood alcohol content results are going to be very quickly, and you'll be able to sort of prepare mentally for where you fall in the range and what you're going to need to do to help yourself. So, to recap, police are there, stop the car. 2, do not admit drinking. 3, do not participate in the voluntary roadside maneuvers. 4, take a blood test. If you do those things, you're going to strengthen your case, and you're going to be giving your attorney all the tools that he can possibly use in order to properly defend you.